right down there. So we need to start talking about what are we going to read next? Sawyer comes back after a few minutes. We show him the stop sign and the structure. Trey and I guess to be the gorgeous ivy-colored building, covered building in Sawyer's vision, where the shooting will take place. Sawyer cocks his head and looks at it through narrowed eyes, taking in the turrets and spires. He glances beyond it, and then he turns to peer along the stretch of buildings the other way, top of the next column. I don't know. I think it's this one, he says, pointing to Cobb Hall, but he doesn't sound very sure. What happened to the shooters? I ask, making sure nobody else is in earshot. They went to the parking lot, got in a car, and took off. I got the car info and license number. Not that it'll do us any good. Don't you think we should call the police? Trey asks. I think we have to. Isn't it the law or something? Come on, Trey, I say. We went through this the last time. They're going to ask how we know, and then what? He's quiet for a second. Why can't we leave an anonymous tip? All right, I think for a second there, maybe we should talk about this, but Trey has a point. It's a little bit different. I mean, I'll pause it in case anybody else has an idea. But I think it's a different story where if a snowplow is going to just randomly, run into a building, that's probably not pre-calculated, right? We use that term a lot with like murder. If something's pre-calculated, you think about doing it before. I mean, snowplow, that's an accident. So how can you call the police? Hey, I think a snowplow is going to run into the building on this such and such date. Okay. How do you know? Like what? But a school shooting, that's a little bit easier. Hey, anonymous tip. Nobody knows your name. Hey, I heard some people talking or I saw something suspicious. You just may want to check into it. Here's the car info. I don't know. Can they trace those calls? I mean, even that, just thinking about it's like, gives me a little pit in my stomach because then those people could get mad at you if they found out. I mean, it's anonymous, but there are ways to track things. And the other thing is, like with the school shooting, maybe they stop it on a certain day, but what if those three people are really determined and they just decide to do it on another day? Would Trey get a different kind of vision? I'm going to plug in my computer so it doesn't shut off. I think I got plenty of battery, but back to the story here. We were right there. Why can't we leave an anonymous tip right at the top? Think about that. That's not a bad idea. Is there a way to do that? He shrugs. Easy enough to find out with Sawyer's phone. Sawyer's already looking it up. Yeah, there's an anonymous text line called Text a Tip. It doesn't give the cops your number. So we just say we think somebody has plans to shoot down a bunch of students sometime in the near future. I think about it for a minute. I suppose it would be better than nothing. Top of the next column. Yeah, I guess. Sawyer looks up. You think I should do it? We look at each other and nod. We need all the help we can get, Trey says. It would make me feel a lot better about everything. Me too, Sawyer says. Okay, here goes nothing. Sure hope this isn't a trick. His fingers fly over the screen. He stops. Read what he excuse me. Read what he has and shows it to us. That looks good, I say. Trey and I nod in agreement. Sawyer takes a breath, lets it out. He presses send. And now the police know there might be a shooting in the near future near Cobb Hall. There's not much else we can do. We try to peer into the windows on the first floor, but none of the ones we can see into look anything like what Sawyer described. We try the doors to the building all the way around. They're locked. Okay, and they're going to say this in a minute, but I mean, you just call in a tip to the police that somebody wants to shoot up a building, and then you are the ones that are looking, like she used it, peering into windows. Like, if a police car does come by, I'm pretty sure they're going to be questioned. I say, after we come full circle around the buildings, we might not want to be seen here. We look kind of suspicious since there aren't very many students, especially with the graffiti stuff. that was happening. And now that the police have our tip, I mean, they could be on their way over. Maybe we should get out of here. Absently, Sawyer touches his puffy eye. Yeah, top of the next column. Yeah, that's cool, but how are we going to monitor things to figure out timing? The buds on the trees are near where they're supposed to be. The ivy is, well, it's hard to tell if it's the same as in the vision. I don't think ivy changes much from day to day. The new stop sign will be up soon, I'm sure, but maybe there are other stop signs, and the vision doesn't actually show the shooters walking into the building by the stop sign. They're just walking near it. So I don't know. He looks around, and we all start heading towards the meatball truck. How are we supposed to know when it's going to happen? Trey shrugs. All we know that it isn't happening tonight, and that's the best we can do. We stop by the food truck festival grounds to check it out like Dad's expecting Trey to do. Trey takes care of booking a spot tomorrow for the meatball truck, and finally, we're on our way back home to Melrose Park. We don't say much, but we're all wondering what day, what time, what building, what room. And I remember the way it was with the crash. Everything pointed to Valentine's Day, but at the last minute, I realized, top of the next column, it was happening the night before. It was all about observation, noticing the littlest things in the vision that made the difference. It's unbelievably frustrating that I can't see this thing myself. How are the visions? I ask. It's dark now, and we're out of the city, heading back to school. Trey's driving. I'm in the middle seat. Sawyer's by the window, staring out, tapping out the sound of 11 gunshots on his thigh. They come and go. He winces and closes his eyes, and his fingers stop tapping. Were you able to decipher any words from the whiteboard once you did close up? No. Oh, sorry. Did a close up. No. I look at my lap, cringe, and ask another question. In the vision, when you see the shot of the building, is there any particular part of the building that seems to be like the focus of the scene? He's quiet. Trey glances at Sawyer and then at me. I shrug. He frowns and looks back at the road. Yeah, Sawyer says after I've given up on him. He shifts and stares out the window, and I realize he's looking into the side mirror of the truck. Top of the next column. I mean, not any specific window, but there's a section of what I think is Cobb Hall that gets a close-up. Without a word, Trey slips his phone from his pocket and hands it to me. I look at him puzzled, but then remember he took pictures of the building. I go through them until I find a shot of Cobb Hall. I touch Sawyer's arm. Which part? He startles and looks at Trey's phone for a long moment, and then he looks at me. I can't see the photo, he says. We stop talking. All right, so that is got to be like super frustrating for everybody. So the part of the scene that Sawyer can see, nobody else can see, and now the vision is getting so bad that even when like Trey or Jules has actual pictures of something, that screen is just showing the vision. So there's definitely some miscommunication there that they can't have, which sucks for them, of course, and more for the people who are about to be shot. Top of the next column. Trey pulls the truck into the school parking lot. Jules, I think you should drive Sawyer home. I'll take the ball bus home and pick you up from Ignati's back parking lot on my first delivery. That'll give you a chance to do whatever it is you do when you're alone. Sawyer doesn't argue, and he and I get out. I wave my thanks to Trey as he takes off again. We stand face to face in the warm, wet air as everything around us melts. I look into Sawyer's arms. Sorry, that would be weird. I look into Sawyer's eyes, and he cringes and looks away. Damn it. What is it? I ask. He doesn't look at me. It's in your eyes, he says. The vision is playing in your eyes. There's a part here it's probably getting to be the part right here. Like they are going to start doing stuff that couples do when they're alone. I mean, minor things like just some kissing that we are not going to read. I will skip through those pages. You can pause. I mean, nobody's going to do this, but if you really wanted to, pause the video and read it for yourself. It is certainly PG-13. Yeah, probably even PG, but We're not going to read it. However, there's one thing that they're not really, I guess, thinking about. Like this vision is getting really, really bad for Sawyer. It's everywhere. Rear view mirror, Trey's phone, Jules's eyes. Like he can't really see anything, which makes me think they probably messed up. Isn't that the way the vision works? The better you're doing at solving the vision, the less you see it. The worse you're doing, the more you see it. So I don't know. Did they mess up when they called the police? Was that the wrong thing to do? I don't know. All right, let's skip some of these pages. Again, is it horrible? No. Is it something I want to read? Also no. So it's like here, they're on this page, they're like kissing. Down here, he's like, Jules, DeMarco, you scare the hell out of me. I know. The truth is that he scares the hell out of me too. I think it's because like they like each other so much, that they're scared. They are so young. Like what if this is the right person that I found like my sophomore year, whatever. It would be kind of weird because a lot of times, you probably know this, the people that you start dating when you're younger or in high school, they're not going to be the people that or the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with if that's what you do. So they both are probably feeling feelings they've never felt before. All right. With that said, let's move on to 31 here. Saturday draws clear. Sounds like okay. So probably on the weekends they're safe. I don't know. On the weekends, Saturday, Sunday probably is not going to happen. Colleges though sometimes do have weekend classes, but this looks like to me we're going to be talking about food truck festival, which sounds awesome to me. There is a food truck. Side note here. I don't know if you know this. There's a food truck somewhere in the Portland area, two actually, that I really love. One's called, I think, PBJ and Me, but they do these crazy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You might think, well, peanut butter and jelly, who cares? But they do it like, trying to think. They're like those Crustable things, if you've ever had those, but on a really high level. And they will do like different kind of peanut butter, like almond butter, different kind of butters, I guess. Really good. And then there's another one, Taco de Sol, I think it's called. But they have both Korean food and Mexican food. And they have this thing called a bibimbap bowl, which is a Korean dish. So good. If you ever see those food trucks around Portland, they're a little expensive, but man, try it out. We have some good food trucks. I think there's a food truck in the Lewis and Auburn area too, Pinky D's. All right, you probably don't want to hear all about my stories, but yesterday, Saturday, I went to Pinky D's. They're not they are a food truck. I didn't go to their food truck though. I went to their actual store and had some poutine. I had Korean barbecue. Yeah. So the Korean barbecue poutine. If anybody wants to know more about it, ask me after class. I will talk all about that Korean barbecue poutine. It was good with kimchi on it. I don't know if you know what kimchi is, but it's very good. All right, 31. Let's do this. Saturday. Saturday draws clear. Saturday dawns clear, sunny, and unseasonably warm. And all I can think about is that we are running out of time and there's nothing I can do. I have no job for the first Saturday in years, and I don't know how to occupy my time. I hawk over the weather report, put on my wellies, and sneak out for a walk. Yeah, what the heck? Wellies. This is a British way to say boots. It's short for like Wellingtons. Why is some girl in Chicago saying wellies? I don't know. That doesn't sound very true to me. Lisa McMahon. Studying the tree buds and pining for Sawyer. Pining is we usually use that verb when you're missing. See, I don't know what that was going to say, but it's usually when you're missing the person you love. But it looked like it said something about trees, but I promise. Pining, Romeo pines over Juliet quite a bit. Closing my eyes as I slosh through the puddles in the elementary school playground nearby, remembering the milty feeling I get when he touches me. But every time my mind goes there, reality slams me in the face as I remember all the crap we are in. And then I think it's so ironic that as grounded as I'm supposed to be right now, I've never felt freer to wander around and not tell anybody where I am. Isn't that weird? We've mentioned that in class before. And maybe as oh man, who was it? I can't remember who said it, but somebody said maybe Marissa. If I'm misquoting, sorry. Maybe that her because she never was delivered that punishment. She thought the dad was going to do it. He went to his bed. The mom came in when the three kids were on the bed. Like, I'm so happy I have you guys. And then Rowan kisses up. Like, oh, she's leaving pretty soon. So she leaves. So Jules has not been officially grounded. There's no set time. She's pretty much wandering all over the city. Yesterday, she was at the University of Chicago, in the center of the city. Grounded, yeah, right. Sounds like a grounded I'd like to be. After I test out all the swings, I start walking, trying to figure out what we have to do, what I have to do to solve this mystery, to finish the puzzle, because it still feels like it's my fault, or at least it's my family's fault for passing down this crazy gene. And I cannot take responsibility for it. All right, good place for us to stop. Oh, the Humane Society. I'm just reading ahead. Excuse me. Just reading ahead a little bit. Remember he volunteers at the Humane Society. Did she just happen to find that, or was she actually trying to go there to meet him? All right, that's enough for today. Let's get into super happy subject, right? Genocide. Armenian. We're going to do part 2 and 3 today. There is a Google form available. We might only get part 2 today because this is going on a little long, but it's all good. We got time. 35 more days left of school, something like that. See ya.